Los Angeles, the city of angels, home of In-N-Out, celebrities, traffic-filled freeways, and some of the most expensive homes in the country. I was fortunate enough to buy a property in Los Angeles quite a few years ago, and I can confidently say, looking at some of the insanely expensive luxury homes in the hills was quite an experience. Today, we're going to look at the 5 most expensive homes ever sold in Los Angeles and see exactly what goes into multi-million-dollar price tags. I have to say though, I'm rather proud of my humble abode on Mulholland. The house in our #1 spot manages to make my house look pretty rough, though it should, with a price tag that's nearly 100 times the price of my humble abode. Number 5. The Playboy Mansion, $100 million. Perhaps the most notorious property on our list, the Playboy Mansion sold in 2016 for a shocking $100 million. Even more surprising, that was only half of the asking price the man himself, Hugh Hefner, put on the property. Built in 1920, the Playboy Mansion is considered a historic building with, well, quite a history. Hugh Hefner acquired the property in 1971, and you've certainly seen bits and pieces of it on several television shows and movies. I spent quite a bit of time in this mansion back in the day, and let me tell you, it is an extravagant place to be, for more reasons than one. The Playboy Mansion is 21,987 square feet and boasts 29 extravagant rooms. There's a massive wine cellar with a secret door harkening back to the Prohibition era, a huge screening room with an antique pipe organ, and a master suite that encompasses the 2nd and 3rd floor. The pipe organ shouldn't come as too much of a surprise, as it is a Gothic Tudor-style home with vampire-like stone and wood accents throughout. Even as luxurious as it is, the interior of the Playboy Mansion pales in comparison to the exterior. After all, the space is made to entertain, and it's done so for years. There's an outdoor kitchen to serve up celebrities' fabulous meals, a tennis court and a basketball court, an aviary, and even a zoo. There's also a lush garden to pair with the zoo, which includes a koi pond, an artificial stream, and a small citrus orchard. But perhaps the most famous of all the bells and whistles in the Playboy Mansion is the pool area. All of my time at the mansion was spent around this pool, and I'm about to show you why. The stunning pool has several waterfalls, a stone bottom, and even more exciting, an artificial grotto. If you've ever dreamt of swimming in a chlorinated heated cave, this might be one of the only options on Earth. The grotto also has a hot tub, where I'm sure things got a little steamy back in the day. So, with Hugh Hefner gone, who has bought this luxury property for such an insane price? Look no further than Dean Metropolis, the owner of both Pabst Brewing Company and Hostess. Not exactly the brands that bring luxury to mind, but they've certainly reeled in a lot of money. Number 4. Fleur de Lys, $102 million. To explore our next property, we've only got to drive down the road for about 5 minutes. Holmby Hills may not be as well known as Beverly Hills, but it's got the same amount of wealth, if not more. If you don't believe me, take a moment to consider our next property. The Fleur de Lys Mansion, which sold for $102 million. $102 million. Think of all the things that could be purchased for $102 million. Even more incredible, this mansion was paid in cash. 30-year mortgage? Haven't even heard of it. The Fleur de Lys Mansion doesn't quite have the same historic value of the Playboy Mansion, but what it lacks in, well, interesting history, it makes up for in accommodations. The property has 4.2 acres, and if you live in LA, you know how hard acres are to come by. There are 12 bedrooms, 15 bathrooms, a massive swimming pool, and a spa building, tennis court, a formal garden, a state-of-the-art kitchen, and an entire staff wing. When you're talking mansions, a lot of these features are rather standard, which is why the Fleur de Lys Mansion decided to take on a few more things to really make it stand out. Specifically, a 2-story library and a 500-person ballroom. It sounds to me like the designer of this property really loved the Beauty and the Beast. In addition, this storybook mansion is home to a 3,000 square foot wine cellar and tasting room. With that large of a space, including that 500-person ballroom, it's surprising we haven't heard of any wild parties or galas on the property. Number 3. Carbon Beach Mansion, $110 million. Our next property ticks off a different kind of Los Angeles mansion checklist. Beach views, check. Palm trees, check. Pacific Coast Highway address, check and check. Located on Carbon Beach, which is known as Billionaire's Beach, this Malibu mansion was sold for a startling $110 million. So, what's so special about this $110 million property? For starters, it's designed by Richard Meyer, a well-known architect to the stars, who's designed properties all over Los Angeles. The mansion is made primarily with glass and teak features, with the teak needing to be properly oiled daily. Luckily, I'm assuming whoever bought this mansion can probably afford to have someone do it for them. The 4,600 square foot house has 4 bedrooms and 5 bathrooms, almost all of which have stunning views of the Pacific. There's also a screening room and a formal garden, which certainly adds to the luxurious feel of the property. If the main house doesn't sound big enough, don't fret. There's also a massive guest house with 2,300 square feet, 3 bedrooms, and 3.5 baths. The guest house is sure to be cozy for any visiting friends. It definitely beats the futon in a friend's studio in Valley Village, that's for sure. The house was sold to a natural gas billionaire, Michael Smith, and I'm certain he'll be gassing about this property for years. Number 2. The Manor, $119 million. At $119 million, our next property still manages to fall quite a bit short of the most expensive home ever sold. However, I've got to say, I certainly still wouldn't mind calling it home. Ominously nicknamed The Manor, there's surprisingly nothing ominous about this incredible property. With 120 rooms, the Manor certainly took the word mansion and ran with it. The 56,500 square foot home has filled every inch of space with surprises and luxury. Out of the 120 rooms, 14 are bedrooms and another 27 are bathrooms, which begs the question, what on earth are the other dozens of rooms? Well, a hair salon, a bowling alley, a spa, a nightclub, several walk-in closets, a screening room, and 3 separate rooms for cutting flowers and wrapping presents. You know, normal stuff. In addition to the absurdity going on inside the house, there's also plenty of places to put your expensive cars. There are 4 2-car garages and a parking lot able to accommodate up to 100 vehicles. I thought my 4-car garage was enough, but I'm starting to think a renovation might be in order. Number 1. Chartwell Estates, $150 million. Finally, we've reached the most expensive house ever sold in Los Angeles. Can you take a guess at what neighborhood it's located in? I'll give you a hint. It also had a fresh prince as a resident. The Chartwell Estates in Bel Air sold for an unfathomable $150 million in 2019. So, what does $150 million get you in Los Angeles? A 25,000 square foot mansion with enough features to make you never want to leave. Though it only has 11 bedrooms and 15 bathrooms, the mansion makes up for that in other places. The exterior of the house is painstakingly landscaped with a museum-level garden, which is home to several fountains and classic statues. This includes a rose garden, a vegetable garden, a Japanese garden with koi fish, and perhaps the most incredible, its own personal redwood grove. The interior of this home boasts several features shipped from Paris, including paneled walls dating back to the 1700s and a green lattice ceiling. However, just importing wallpaper wasn't quite enough. Several of the rooms include wallpaper that has a mother-of-pearl inlay. Aside from the decor, there's also several items that have been imported just for entertainment. There's a complete billiards room, a room with a remote-controlled wall which moves to reveal a grand piano, and a climate-controlled wine cellar which can hold up to 12,000 bottles of wine. But perhaps the most unique feature of this mansion isn't what's in it or around it, but what's underneath it. The mansion includes an expansive underground tunnel system, which leads from the main house to the 75-foot-long pool and to the private gardens. If you're ever invited to a party at this fabulous mansion, it's one of the few places in LA where you won't have to worry about parking. With a 40-car parking garage, estate certainly got you covered. So there you have it, the 5 most expensive homes ever sold in Los Angeles. Which house would you want to live in? Let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And as always, I'm Mr. Luxury. Pip pip to doodly doo.